Leave it.
Yeah, it has started. So we have started the recordings.
Yes.
Yeah, hi everyone. This is Parveen Tuli this side, and I'm an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, a Joy of Business Facilitator, and a mother, and a lot more other role plays to play and have fun with. And today I've been invited with Vijay invited me, and the topic that have he chose is limitless living, and I thought of exploring it and really functioning as and knowing more about what limitless living is all about. So
Yeah.
as we
It,
begin, yes, Vijay.
yeah. It's one of the participants have chosen the topic.
Awesome, and I would
Yes.
love to.
And
I mean, by you
yeah.
giving me that limitless living title, I've been exploring it in a way and questioning it in a way that
Yes.
it opened up a lot of awarenesses in my world. So thank you for that.
Yes. Thank you.
So we keep on using these terms, we keep on using these theories and terms, but how many of us actually, when we really question it from the space of exploring it and really experiencing it, what it is, and what really it is for the person who's exploring it. So it's a different way of living and exploring. It's more like an adventure of knowing it from within. So thank you for inviting me to all these spaces.
Thank
So
you.
can I use access tools in linear terms? Are people aware of some of it so that I can begin?
Yeah. All are access only.
Okay, so just know about it.
And it is Anjala Verma who's given this topic.
Hi, thank you, Angela. It's so glad to see that very nice topic like limitless living or yeah. So when I started questioning and I started exploring of what does limitless living is, or what do I know about what is limitless living? The first thing that showed up in my world was choice. And then I started exploring and walking like, okay, so what is limitless living? And really went through and look at all the different spaces where people were functioning from what they define it as a limitless living, which is everything's the opposite of what it appears to be, which doesn't have a definition being in itself. So when I started exploring limitless living, it was more like limitless living is, it all begins with a choice. So for me, it's more like when you are willing to explore what is the true you that you be, like the being you truly that you be. And the day, the time, the moments that you actually explore it and would like to go and know more about it, I think it's an exploration and a journey of exploring that limitless living, which is, I don't think it's a state of living or a, like, you know it all about it, but it's a space that you actually have access to again and again and again by more choices that you're willing to make, so that everything that your mind gives you an instruction of what limitation is doesn't become relevant for you to make, that doesn't have an effect or stop you from choosing what you know is possible, which is the the way you know is possible for a being who's willing to go beyond any of the spaces. So it's just a choice to have all of you. I mean, like when we say all of you, and we have been talking about living without boundaries in a linear sense, to have living beyond boundaries is something that people call it as a limitless living in a very practical way, in a pragmatic way of living. But what are these boundaries that we are talking about? Let's explore that first, which is for anyone, if you look at any of the life energies all around you, except except for the human mind that we have been functioning from, if you look at any life energy, If you actually observe any life energy and you look at it, it functions from a space of ever evolving creation all the time. If you look at nature, if you would love to look at it, would like to explore any of the spaces in the universe, it's always functioning from a space of ever evolving creation. Like there is not even a minuscule mini second where the creation stops. And that is what is a capacity of a life energy, which is it's always creating and always creating, and it doesn't even stop no matter what happens. Well, because it knows it is limited. It functions from the knowing of creation and knowing it. But we as humans, and when we embody this human embodiment, something that becomes dominant in our most of us becomes the brain that becomes dominant, which is more like it start becomes the dominant machine when we actually start functioning, and we actually start functioning from the data that we keep on collecting all the time. And you might all be knowing about the right and wrongs and good and bads and all the preconditioned data and the magnetic imprints which gets embodied which gets imprints with our brain. And when we so when we are functioning from that data, which is our mind, and we start becoming an effect of everything that our mind keeps telling us, instructing us, rather than allowing a being to be the dominant space of functioning. That is where I get that we keep on having these definitions of what are limitations, or what can I do, what can I do, who I be, who I'm not, what is possible, what is not possible. And all of that creates a space of where we actually limit our worlds and limit our perceptions, limit our way of living in this life and living from a very limited perspective. And what happens is we actually have that limited perspective and we call it life, which in itself is life in itself is a definition if you're looking at it from that space. And in anything that's a definition is a limitation in itself. What if limitless living is an ongoing experience and process, or it's an ongoing experience that if we choose to have it moment by moment, choice by choice, and our willingness to actually have it, be it, receive it, experience it, that becomes a way of functioning in this life and living. When I was exploring the limitless living, I came across a very beautiful clipping by Mr. Dr. Dane here. As you all must be aware of, he's a co-founder of Access Consciousness. And when we have all been talking about what else is possible, which is every questions give you and opens doors to new spaces. And the more you ask a question, the more you're willing to go beyond a point of view and look at it from a question, the more you're willing to open up spaces that was not accessible to you before because of that fixed point of view. And that began a journey of when you are looking at everything that you want to live as a limitless living, how much of presence and the space of being that you're willing to access is now available to you by your choice. Can you now use it for living in a day-to-day life, which become where everything that you wish to or desire to or have a perception of comes to your life just by your ask, just by your desire, just by your seeking of it, just by your willingness of you to just pay your attention to it. What if everything is available to you all the time? It's only your mind and your perception that stops us from having it all the time, or just functioning from the knowing that I have it, or I know I'll have it just if I put my attention in that space. So, and Mr. Douglas really invited us to a space which was more like, what else is possible? We keep on asking this question about what else is possible, which is an exploration of the being in itself, which is an exploration of new spaces, which is an exploration of knowing and more of what is that space that we can now have access to and start functioning from there. And when I looked at possibilities and I said, okay, when we keep on asking about what is possible, what are we really looking at? And possibilities is, would you be possibilities, Mr. Douglas really said that possibilities is always your willingness, which is a choice. It's your willingness to see something different, do something different, and not have a fixed point of view about it. So, isn't that beautiful? We have been asking about possibilities, and that is what we are looking at here, which is like your willingness to look at something different, to seek something different, your willingness to know something different, your willingness to explore a different space of you, your willingness to really go beyond what have what your brain or what this reality has ever taught you as, and your willingness to just have it, explore it in a way that nobody ever has ever reached out to or have experienced before. And when you have that space and you're willing to explore that space, do you know, the more space of being that's available to you, the more you are willing to go beyond the limited spaces of your mind, you become a walking, talking life energy that's a gift to the world, where you become the possibilitarian of going beyond what people have thought of is a limitation. So that's something that really excites me. And that's something that really invites me to know, okay, now what? When we call limitless, it's a way of being present in your life and living, where everything exists, all the thoughts, feelings, emotions, other people's reality, your own, everything that you have accumulated so far, nothing is significant. Nothing is significant from the space of, nothing stops you from exploring, and your choice to really have the freedom of choice of choosing any space that you wish to space right now in this moment, or to create any space, anything. Yeah.
Hello.
So was that for me, Vijay? Was that 1 second for me?
Yeah, yeah. Can you check the participants? Like, I think it is not able to add here.
There are 11 of them I can see, which is they're asking to be
Yeah, can
joined.
you add them? Yeah, please add them because I'm
Oh,
not the host. That's why I'm not
oh,
able
am
to
I the
see it.
host? Okay.
Yeah, I made you as a host.
How do I add them? Okay, where is, okay,
Just
11
admit,
participants.
admit. Yeah,
Okay,
admit.
admit all.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just pressed admit all. I hope we have more life
Yeah.
energies here.
Yes.
That's
All are
brilliant.
joined.
Welcome all. Yeah. So Vijay, can I make you the host for future thing?
Yeah, yeah. You can make.
That'll be
No problem.
easier. Yeah.
Yes.
So where will we be? What? So I would like to know, like, what do people want to know about limitless living? Can we have somebody who wants to know more about, who would like to, as we say, the more questions, the more we want to know that what is it that people are willing to know about limitless living? People, what is it that people would like to explore about what's possible, what's not possible, and how our thoughts, feelings, emotions, minds stops us from being the walking, talking space of presence, where there is no lack, where there is a knowing of everything is possible, and your willingness to have it actualizes it in your reality. But when we make everything, which is time, physicality, or everything that's happening right now, which might be the coronavirus, XYZ, what if everything else, if you don't look at it? Yeah, so we have some people. Can you mute yourself so that it gets easier? Bhavna. Yeah. Bhavna, can you mute yourself, please? Just a choice, thank you. So, what is
Yeah, Angela Verma want to talk.
okay,
Now.
we have a question from Angela. Thank you, Angela, and thank you for the brilliant topic.
Hi, Parveen.
Yeah, good. Yeah, what's your question?
Yeah, so good to see you here and gratitude for being in this space. So, my question is what contribution can we be to self, to be the limitless and to tap into that potency of being limitless that we truly are?
Awesome. That's one of the most brilliant questions. Okay, if you really wish to be a contribution to yourself, first, okay, can I give you an exercise for 3 days to tap into these spaces? Yeah?
Yes, how does it get even that?
So, for the next 3 days, just be very present with yourself and secretly know everything that you're making right. Secretly get aware of everything that you're making wrong about you or anybody else, or about anybody else or the situation or the spaces or anything. Just secretly be aware of all the secrets that you've been functioning as right and wrong. And are you willing to look at all the things that you are aware of which are you are making right and wrong, and know that everything that you're making right and wrong and functioning as a polarity is creating a limitation for you to have a space which is limitless. So we keep on looking at things as if like,
So, basically, you want us to be in interesting point of view?
interesting point of view is a great space to go be. Yes. It's interesting point of view is also a
Yeah,
space to
Praveen,
be
if I'm
aware of.
getting
Yeah, be aware of it. But
the
would you
interesting
real
point of
yes, Angela? Yeah, Angela, can I ask you a question?
yeah. So I'm
Can you
asking, if
yeah.
I'm getting you, yeah,
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you please
that we are in allowance of what we.
you are muted, Angela. I can't hear you.
So if I get you right, is it that we are to be in allowance of what is happening around us, of all the
Yeah,
people around us and of ourselves?
absolutely. And would you like to look at everything as interesting point of view, which is a space, which is just a space where you're interested in life, you're interested in getting the awareness of it, but you do not fix it as right and wrong. So when you
Awesome,
say,
got it.
yeah, would you like to be interested in having the awareness of all the life energies, which is all of life comes to me? When all of life is already existing and it comes to you, would you like to look at it from a space of that's interesting, coming from a space of awareness of having it all, and knowing and just asking it, okay, what if each and every life energy that's coming to you is a contribution of gifting awareness to you? Even coronavirus right now. So when you don't have any point of view about right and wrong, good and bad, or any polarized fixed point of view that doesn't allow the awareness to come to you, do you have a choice? Do you have a choice and a free will choice to choose or act with all these energy? Angela, you are muted. I can't
Yes,
hear.
lots of space. That no. I'm not muted. Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
now I can hear you because earlier you were like, yeah.
Yeah.
So when
Okay.
we,
So
yeah.
yes, of course, yes.
So
That
when
gives
we
a lots and lots of space to.
Yeah, and when you have access to all the awarenesses, and when you have access to When you occupy the spaces which all life energies are without having a point of view, do you occupy more space than a limited person, like a person who's functioning from a limited point of view?
More space. Lots
So,
more.
what questions can you ask, which is what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be? Energy, space, consciousness, and choice can me and my body be to be the infinite perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving that I truly be. So when you are willing to know it all, when you are willing to be present with all life energies as interesting point of view, without going into a judgment, even if you go into a judgment, you snap out yourself and be interesting point of view to begin with, like 10-second choices. Do you have a choice when you have more awareness? Or do you, when you, do you become an effect of unawarenesses around all the stupidity around the world? Angela, you're muted. I can't say get a yes or no. So I'm talking to a wall. Like I'm not sure whether you're here or not. Angela, you are muted. I can't hear you. Oh, somebody can Vijaya, you can unmute her.
Yeah.
I cannot do that right from here.
Yeah. Actually, I lost my connection. How does it get even better than that?
Okay.
Yes. So a lot of space. So lots of space there.
Yeah.
And yes. So what will it take for Vijay to please post this question in the group?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So we are recording the call.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
We get the call.
We are recording the call. Yeah. Awesome. How does it get even better than that?
Great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So what if every point of view you actually fix, which becomes your limited way of living at it? And one of the best spaces that I really enjoy doing it, Mr. Douglas facilitated of each energy that comes to you facilitates you with something greater. Each and every energy that comes to you, like all of life comes to me, when all of life energy comes to you, what if every life energy is facilitating you with something? Are you willing to be aware of it? Are you willing to use it for your advantage? Are you willing to outcreate and go beyond that? So these are brilliant questions to play with. I mean, like, when you allow the energies to come to you, and it's a choice to turn up your presence no matter what, and choose in every 10 seconds, like if you build up that muscle more and more and more of choosing to be present and not going into a wrongness, or like if you really committed, like, okay, I commit myself to not go into any wrongness. If you just work on one polarity, the other literally liquefies or it melts down. If nothing is wrong, what can you be aware of? So that.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you. Thanks, Parveen. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks for your brilliant, limitless space that you are inviting us all to be. Also, like, I also would love to invite you guys. In one of the calls, Mr. Douglas invited us and say, what if are you willing to be aware of that this reality is inside of you? And that opened up a space which is like, okay, what do you mean by that? Which is like your point of view about these realities and anything around is the limitation that you are minding yourself and you are actually maintaining it parallelly. And what if when you're willing to go beyond this reality without having a point of view of this, can you actually be the limitless that you truly be? And what's possible with that space? Yeah. So do we have more questions? Any other questions? Okay, so can I actually go ahead and read something that's really?
I think Vijay has raised his hand. He's got a question.
Vijay, do you have a question? Can you unmute yourself and come?
No questions. No problem. You can continue.
Okay, thank you. I would also like to invite the space to look at the space. Now, everybody, all of you, just we have been talking about and using the exercises of expanding out and occupying more spaces. Yeah? Can I give you guys a little exercise to occupy more and more spaces, which are like in a very pragmatic way, day to day? So look at all the limitations that you think you have right now. All the limitations that you have really fixated, or you've made it significant, or is absolutely right. Like, ye to hai na, like I really don't have this na right now. Like sort of those limitations. You can all bring them up right now. Now lower your barriers. Lower your barriers with all the limitations that you think you have. Again, I say you think you have right now. And allow yourself to occupy the space that you're asking for or desiring of what's beyond that. Occupy that space. Everywhere you have made that as, oh, this is a limitation, I want that. You have made that as a greater space, or you have made that as the impossible space, or you've made that as, or you've made yourself smaller, because every time you limit yourself, you actually shrink and contract. And everything that you're desiring is outside of you rather than just having it. If you just allow yourself to energetically, at least energetically to begin with, have it. Remember, when we say in access, which is choice creates, at least choose it energetically. When you choose it, when you energetically say a yes to it, it starts showing up. Are you willing to at least energetically or holistically, however way you wish to be, in this right moment, in this right 10 seconds, allow yourself to just choose it. Just choose it, whatever. It can be anything. It can be physical things like money or XYZ. It can be spaces like joy. It can be spaces like whatever you think is a limitation for having it. In this right moment, just choose it and choose it and choose it. And every time anything that stops you, or your brain starts, when you choose it and all the limitations starts showing up, all the fear starts showing up, all the hurdles starts showing up, whatever you think is what do you start receiving? All of those as life energies that are here to contribute to you and give you more awareness, so that now you can go beyond it. It can be fear. It can be you're beyond like a frozen point of view. It can be any distractors. It can be anything. But if you're willing to receive all these energies as all of life energies, these are life energies. These are giving you awarenesses of where you're limiting yourself. Are you willing to receive whatever, what if what you think is a limitation is the biggest gift that can contribute to you? When you allow them to be in your space, allow them to have it, not have a point of view about it. Can you use these dear friends of yours that you just had a friendship with to go beyond and have more of that, whatever you're asking for? So what if every life energy is a contribution? And Dr. Dane, he really beautifully invited us to look at the space where limitless living is a space where everything, like if you're sitting and somebody's nagging at the door, if you're sitting here and somebody else is sick, ill, emotional, XYZ, everything becomes a contribution as a life energy when you are willing to have it, and when you are willing to look at it from that, when you are willing to be the ease, joy, and glory of receiving it. Yes. So we have a question. I think there is Anita raising her hand. And
Hi.
yeah, hi Anita.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Parveen. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm brilliant. You tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting that the way you put it, every
Yeah.
energy can contribute to you and every limitation can contribute to you. Could you could you give us an example and what question do we ask here to receive from that limitation?
Okay. So can I ask you a question?
Or what energy can be?
Yeah. So can I ask you a question? What is it? What is that one energy that you think is in, like, what is that one space that you think is a limitation? I can give you an example for that right now.
Maybe lack.
Okay. Okay. So lack around a particular space or in general? Like lack around some money or lack around some
Yeah, you could
whatever.
take the example of money.
Okay. Yeah.
Money,
So
skill sets.
yes, that's a brilliant one. Let's see where we go from here. So money, if you have read How to Become a Money workbook, money is just an energy. Yeah. Just a second. There's somebody in the door. Somebody's knocking.
Right.
Yes. So money is an energy, which is like, what is money for you, Anita? Am I audible? Yeah. Right in this
Money is,
moment.
yeah, you are. Money could contribute joy, ease,
Yeah. No,
the
but what does
comforts
money
that you're
means to
looking
you
for.
right now?
A lack is coming up.
Okay.
The
So,
energy of lack is coming.
okay. So, yeah. So when you say lack, is it coming from a contracted space in your world, which is like, or is it expansive? Is it light or heavy?
Heavy.
When you say
Heavy.
lack, yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah. So do you know that everything
Can you
that's,
hear me?
yeah. So can you play with this question? All the lies that, everything that I've invented, all the invented lies attached to money or lack that I'm functioning as, I now destroy and uncreate it all. Are you willing? Okay, it's a choice. Okay, let's have a free will choice here. Okay. Are you willing to have more of you?
Yes.
Okay. Are you willing to have everything that money is in your world, including
Yes.
the point of views about lack, including all the
Okay.
heaviness attached with it, all
Sure,
the
sure.
lies?
I'm willing to.
Yeah.
I'm willing to receive.
Awesome. Are you willing to receive? See, what happens is, what happens is we are unwilling to receive, or we are aware of the lies that people are functioning as when they have that what we are asking for. And then sometimes we are resisting
True.
that heaviness, not to have, in the sense, I'll not be that. Sorry, I can be everything but that. So are you willing to have, are you willing to be aware of all the lies that people are functioning as and have no point of view about it?
Wow. Sure. Yes.
Are you willing to, so
Yes.
consciousness includes everything and judges nothing, includes the stupidity, includes the unawareness, includes judgments, but yet it judges nothing. When you're willing to allow and receive lacks as interesting point of view, can you use those for your advantage?
Yes.
Are you willing to have it?
Yes.
Everything that will
Yes.
allow that, destroy and uncreate it all. right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, online shorts, boys and beyonds. So when you say all of life, when we say how can a limitation contribute to me? Limitation is not, see, limitation can anything be like it can be a fixed point of view, or it can also be like resistance to some energy. Aligning, agreeing, resisting, and reacting.
True.
All of it can be different for different spaces. So what happens with all the four spaces, we are attaching ourselves to pillars and walls. We are looking for something or someone to hold on to have a sense of reality.
True.
When would an infinite being or a limitless space hold on to one particular point of view or hold on to one stand or a pole to just have a sense of this reality, or they can be aware of this reality?
I can be aware of that reality.
Just a choice. Yeah. What if awareness is your biggest, like if you commit, so what if, are you willing to commit to awareness more than ever before?
But at times, that doubt comes in, whether it is awareness or I'm going into thinking.
Yeah. So do you have, so there are tools, okay? So consciousness includes everything. And what if it includes the energy of doubt as well? We are not negating anything. We are not negating anything. What if when doubt shows up, you've done a foundation, are you aware of distractor implants?
Yes.
Yeah. Doubt is doubt is nothing but a distractor implants to negate your presence. Like all the lies that
Right.
attach to it. So it's a 10-second choice, which is okay, I am willing to see what's true for me here. No matter whatever energy shows up, even it's a doubt, it's anger, it's fear, it's any energy. It's your choice and your willingness to know what's true for you is an awareness that you really keep on exploring it more and more and more. And with that ask or with that commitment, you're adding more and more life energies to your life and living. You're occupying more spaces than ever before. And that becomes a game of living as a limitless energy of life and living, where you're always willing, interested in life, interested in knowing, looking at it from the space of that's interesting life or whatever, and functioning as questions, choices, QCPC, which is questions, choices, possibilities, and creations. When you are willing to receive all of that, you become a continuous natural space of continuous creation, just like trees, just like nature or whatever. And your willingness to receive all of the energies allows you to be all the energies. And that's what nature right now, what is nature doing with the coronavirus? It's actually being the killing energy of, I've been really subtle and told you what's working, what's not working. Now it's not working, and it's not being the killing energy, the nature, for some of the stupidity and the stupids in the world to get awake and really look at and ask questions what's going on. So it's the energy. So this limitation, what we think is a limitation, what contribution is this, that we can, if you're willing to have the awareness of this, can use it for our advantage and in our creations as well. So Anita, you are muted. I'm sure you said a yes or no.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Often we only choose to receive that which is good, that which is, beautiful. And
Yeah.
when you said that so brilliantly, that, receive from limitations, receive from points of views, that opened up a huge space for me. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, dear.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's a
So
it's a
how can I use
huge
this? Yeah,
it's a
how can
huge
I?
space.
And space, you call space, which is limitless living is a space. ever exploring, ever evolving, ever expanding space of being. Just a choice.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks a million. Thanks a
Thank
million
you. So I have a
for
tool for you if
this
you want to use it. How can I use this
invitation
limitation?
for me to be so much.
Thank you, Ashish. I can see a
Sorry.
clap. Okay, so how can I use this limitation? How can I use this judgment? Or how can I use whatever life energy that you are resisting, reacting, aligning, and agreeing to? How can I use this for my advantage and creating greater?
Advantage. Wow.
How can I use
Brilliant.
this
Brilliant.
space, life energy, whatever you want to call it? How can I use this life energy for my advantage and creating greater? You might
Thanks.
get aware of
Thanks a
how can you use it.
Godzillion.
Yeah, thank you for asking that
Thanks a
question.
Godzillion.
Yeah.
I don't know. It opened up so much for
I'm so glad that you received it. Yeah.
me.
Thank you.
Do we have more
Yeah,
questions?
Parveen, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anita, for that.
If if no questions, then we can wind up. And this will
Absolutely.
be every day a call. And there are a lot of courses coming up. So every day we can pick one topic, and accordingly we can discuss each of these for 30 minutes daily.
Yeah, so whatever. That's a great space to have great conversations and knowing more about various tools. Thank you, Vijay. That was great. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
And
guys.
Praveen is also doing business classes
Business done
and
different is starting
a lot of
tomorrow.
foundation
Yeah.
and R classes. Yes, yes. A lot of other classes. If
Yeah.
anybody is interested, can join. Yes.
Absolutely. You can connect me directly or on Facebook or my WhatsApp. And if you're looking to explode your possibilities with business done different or any other, like lots of more courses and classes, happy to
Yes.
play and create more. Thank you, everyone, for being here and receiving it so well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.
Thank you.
Do I end the meeting, Vijay?